I'm going to show you 10 lessons that will help you win more money and play better poker starting today. After 6 years of winning consistently, there are so many I wish I can go back and teach my younger self. So in this video, I'm going to share those lessons with you so you can skip the painful trial and error and start improving faster. The first lesson is one of the most important ones. You must be able to profile and identify the player types at your table. There are two main types of players we will encounter, and they are recreationals or regulars. A recreational is someone who plays poker primarily for fun or as a hobby. Their main goal is to enjoy the game and interact with other players at the table. Winning money is not their goal, but if they do win, it is a plus for them. A regular is someone who plays poker consistently and takes the game more serious. Their main goal is to profit in the long run and improve their game. Some are part-time or full-time players, and some do just break even or slightly lose. How do we know who is at our table? Well, there are key signs that help us profile players. Let's use a 2-5 game that has a max buy-in of $500 as an example. A recreational will sometimes buy in for $500, but oftentimes we will see them buy in short stack. They will do $400, $300, maybe even $250 so they can enjoy playing at the table longer since there is less risk. Also, if they do buy in for the max, they will never top up, aka add money to their stack back to 500. A regular, however, will always buy in for the max. These players want to make as much money as possible, and if they even fall $25 below 500, you will see them top up to the max. Another tip I want to touch on briefly is pre-flop bet sizes. Recreationals will sometimes find big opening sizes, 6x, 7x, or even 8x the blinds. Their 3-bet sizing will also be far from what is used by winning players. Regulars will find normal opening sizes, 2.5x and 3x at the tables. Keep in mind this is only the beginning of profiling. Recreationals can also be labeled a calling station, a knit or tight player, loose player, and even more subcategories. Regulars also can fall under these characteristics as well. For me, identifying players is just as easy as picking up my phone and checking my email. If this feels tough, don't worry, because something that is easy is scanning this QR code to join my free poker newsletter. You will learn to win more money in your games. Also, you can click my pinned comment on this video to join. The next lesson is something weaker players lack. It is being aggressive while playing poker. The more aggressive player is going to win the most money at any poker table. You need to be a player who is able to find a lot of open raises pre-flop. You also need to find 3 bets against your opponents because generally people do not know how to play properly against them, especially out of position. One example of this is cutoff raising, button calling, and we have ace-queen offsuit in the small blind. The play that would generate the most winnings long term is not to call and see a flop, it is going to be re-raising your opponents. Post-flop is another place to be aggressive. This goes for every street, whether it is the flop, turn, or river. You need to find double barrels sometimes in uncomfortable situations when you continuation bet on the flop. Most players also do not find enough check raises on the flop, so try to implement this in your game. It is okay to check raise a flush draw only on a flop. Calling 100% of the time is the easy option. Yes, we do not have a made hand, but if you are playing an opponent who continuation bets all the time, do you think they have enough hands in their range to properly defend? They do not, so try to be more aggressive and find check raises in more situations against your opponents. Please do not chase losses, especially by moving up stakes. I once coached someone who was a slightly losing player. He became a winning player very quickly and was very thankful because now poker was becoming a career for him. A couple of months later, he had a really rough week at the tables. We all have been there before, right? He decided to chase his losses and move up in stakes multiple times. He had the mindset of just winning a couple big hands would make everything normal again. This is the same thing as doubling your bet every time you lose playing blackjack. It just does not work out. Instead, he lost his entire bankroll in 3 days. If he never moved up to chase his losses, this unfortunate event would have never happened. Fortunately, he was able to learn from his mistake and recovered. About 6 months later, he started playing again and eventually became one of the most successful poker players I have ever coached. So learn from his mistake and my mistakes many years ago. Never chase after your losses by moving up stakes. The next lesson is being prepared for a bad run. I am telling you this from experience. Sometimes you believe you are running the worst you have ever ran at the tables. Trust me, it can get worse and continue to go downhill. You will have aces cracked 5 times in a row or run kings into aces 5 times in a row. Yes, it is all possible because variance can be very high depending on the games you are playing. My question to you is, are you prepared to lose 15 or 20 buy-ins in cash game at 1-3, 2-5, or 5-10? This means losing $6,000, $10,000, or $20,000. And of course, the speed of it depends on how often you play. Also, it is not just about the money. Are you prepared for this mentally? A strong mental mindset goes a long way in playing this game. I focus on my mental while I am playing poker and while I am away from the tables. Tilt almost does not exist in my world because I have the confidence in my poker game. If you need help on your mental approach and feeling more confident at the poker table, then check out my free weekly newsletter. I have received a lot of positive feedback for the knowledge I provide. You can sign up to receive my free advice by scanning the QR code that is on your screen or by clicking the link in the pinned comment of this video. The lesson of having discipline while playing is super important. I find it so funny when people are in a tough spot, let's say facing a big bet on the river, they think about it for a little bit and say out loud, I know you have it, but I am still going to call. They proceed to put in the chips and almost always lose. If you know they had it, why are you calling? These are the same types of players that do not have the discipline to stick to their strategy when they sit down to play. The session starts off and they say, I am going to make sure I open the right hands I know I am supposed to. Then an hour or two goes by and boredom is starting to set in. They start opening and calling hands they would never play at the beginning of a session. I can tell you one thing for sure, long-term winners do not lack having patience at the table. So next time you are bored, think of a way of helping yourself refocus on playing your game and not someone else's. If there is another lesson to teach my younger self, it is playing longer and not quitting early. Have you ever had a session that starts off amazing? An hour or two goes by and you are already up 3 to 4 buy-ins. Now you start to become afraid and think, well, I am up so much, I can just stop now. This is a huge mistake. Currently, you are at a high of all highs. You are playing your A game, cards are coming, and all of your decisions are perfect. Why not play for a couple more hours when things are going well? Trust me, it works out a lot better in the long run. It is very interesting when the session starts off bad though. We want to continue to play as long as possible. We lose a huge flip, we make a really bad call, and then we bluff off an entire stack for no reason. Even after all of this, we think we should just keep playing. Why play when things are going wrong and you are not playing your A game? Now, if you are very strong mentally and are playing excellent, then it is fine to continue. I personally do not like quitting early when things are going well or playing longer when I am playing bad. As long as I am playing my A game and am extremely focused, the laws of math will balance out all the hands and sessions anyway. Remember, poker is similar to the stock market. Long-term stocks and investments always beat the short-term ones. The importance of studying is an aspect of poker that is overlooked. People believe they need to play to get better and take no time in perfecting their craft. It is extremely beneficial to set aside many hours a week to improve your game. All of the mistakes at the table pile up, like taking a loan with compounding interest. Do drills, talk hand histories with a friend, and maybe watch other great players play. Believe me, it is possible to become a better player away from the tables. If you aren't sure what or how to study, make sure you check out my free weekly newsletter. You can receive free poker tips by scanning the QR code that is on your screen or by clicking the link in the pinned comment of this video. It may feel like it, but people are not luckier than you. When I played at the beginning of my career, it just seemed the people who played the worst cards always won, especially against me. I would remember all of the negative hands, but forget about the positive ones. Our mind is wired to focus more on the bad than the good. What we are not seeing is when these so-called lucky people lose. It is also funny when people win big or run hot, as everyone loves to call it. A good example of this is when Michael Mizrachi ran so hot during the WSOP main event, he won about 10 all-ins consecutively to go from short stack to big stack. Ultimately, he would win the entire tournament. What we do not remember is all the times he probably lost while he was ahead in this or maybe other WSOP tournaments. Range awareness is key to winning in this game long term. People believe they understand ranges, but yet they make very bad calls or bluffs. Ranges may seem simple pre-flop at times, but they progress very quickly on flops, turns, and rivers. Knowing how they develop is key to understanding how you should be playing multiple scenarios in poker. Being able to call out combinations of hands while playing poker helps with being extremely range aware. Positioning at each poker table can affect your win rate. You always want to be in position to the fish in your game because they will make a massive amount of mistakes playing you out of position. Sitting to their direct left or one seat over is huge. Sometimes even being in position to aggressive regulars can help out too. Usually, when you are first to act, you will face a lot more 3-bets from them. Next time you are playing poker, carefully check the profile of the players who are seated to your left and your right. At the beginning of my career, I loved reg battling. It did not matter who was at the table, I would play for hours and hours. Honestly, I knew the fish were bad, but I did not truly understand the concept of how much more money I made from them. Regulars make mistakes too, and some are not the best at the game, but the drop off in skill level for a fish is tremendous. I am thankful for all the reg battling I have done in my past though, because those games can be very fun and improve your skill level. Ultimately, the fish's mistakes is what puts food on the table though. Which brings me to my next lesson, being kind to fish at the table. They are there to have a good time, right? So when they give you a bad beat with a hand you know they should never play, do not insult them. I see this time and time again, and it is not good for the poker economy. Let them have their small wins because they are what truly makes this game profitable. If I lose to them, it is okay because I know if I get into a hand with them multiple times after, I will come out on top. In the long run, I will always win the most against them. If all the poker tables we played at were only full of regulars and no fish, the edges start to become extremely small. Remember, not only do we have to beat our opponents at the table, but we have to beat rake as well. So next time a fish destroys you in a hand, be kind because they are just there to have a good time. Poker is challenging. It is one of the only sports where you have to consistently put high amounts of money on the line to make a living. The challenge is what makes most things in life fun though, right? It has a bunch of roller coasters and swings that are never ending. Anything where there is risk involved financially always feels challenging. We just need a different perspective for this game, so give me 13 minutes of your time and I'll change the way you think about poker forever.